Welcome to episode 27 of America in Crisis, Breaking the Cycle of Addiction. My name is David Hunt, and I am your host. Please hit your DVRs to record. The show could save your child's life. With us today are Carla and Alyssa Domenici. Carla is the mother of Joey Domenici. Joey was Carla's only son. Joey died tragically on November 4th, 2019. Carla is the co-founder of the Joey Domenici Foundation. Alyssa is the co-founder and the oldest of Joey's 5 siblings. Today, you will hear how a family turned a tragedy into a way to help others, possibly stopping a similar fate. Carla, Alyssa, welcome to my show.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
We'll start off with Carla. How old was Joey when he passed?
Joey was 21 years old.
And can you tell us what he passed from?
He died of an acute fentanyl overdose.
Can you share with us how old you realized Joey was when he started abusing substances?
He came to us when he was about 15,
Okay.
letting us know he was doing drugs, and he soon then went into recovery.
And I understand he did come to you for help at that age.
Yes.
What steps did you take? What were you able to get him into?
His first program he went into was CAB in Danvers. It's an adolescent program.
Can you share with us what that is, just other than the name? What they do for people?
They try to help as much as they can. He was young, so when they're young, it's a little bit harder. There's not many places for them to go to, but we were lucky enough to find that.
And did Joey always live in Woburn, or did he travel around? Was he always a Woburn-ite?
Yeah. He always lived in Woburn. His main grounds were Woburn, but he went to recovery everywhere, from Massachusetts to the Cape to Florida, California. He pretty much went everywhere he could to get, into recovery.
Did he share with you the different programs he was out? Obviously, he moved around. There must have been a reason for it. What I'm trying to ask is, did it vary from Woburn to the Cape to Florida? The different types of treatments they tried?
He really liked a 12-step program. That's kind of where he was at most of the time. But he would definitely do anything he could to be sober. He wanted recovery.
It just wasn't working. Was it from influences, or was the drug just too powerful?
I think it's a demon. It's a really bad demon that kind of gets a hold of them, and it's really hard to kick it. Don't get me wrong. There's many that do,
yes.
But some they just can't kick the demon.
Let me move ahead a little bit. What was Joey like growing up into detail? Before we talk about sports and Woburn and anything, as a youngster, as a young child, growing up, baby, out of the crib, what's Joey like?
He was beautiful. First of all, he's so handsome, funny.
Yep, I can see this picture of him.
He was pretty much everything you want in a child. He was a great brother. He was a phenomenal son. He was an unbelievable athlete. He was super smart. He was, pretty great, but don't get me wrong, he had his mischievousness too. So he was, a typical boy.
Can you share some of that with us? I mean, I was too. I rode my tricycle down my neighbor's stairs. Today we would sue the people that made the stairs, and we'd sue the people that made the bike and the people that owned the stairs.
Yeah.
Not that it's my fault for driving it down the stairs.
Yeah.
I drove it down the stairs, split my head. My mother kicked the other part of me for doing it. So, when you say mischievous, what did he do?
I think he just had stuff with his siblings. You know what I mean? He just caused, a little bit of mischievous. There was a particular incident that him and Alyssa, threw shakes at each other, and it landed all over my living room. But at the end of the day, it was pure love, and they were just, having fun with each other.
Which is what most kids do.
Yeah,
I saw
exactly.
some pictures of Joey dressed in sporting uniforms.
Yes.
That was Woburn High?
Yes.
Can you share with us what Joey did at Woburn High, what type of sports he was involved in?
He played football. He played football at Woburn High. He started football in Papuana when he was younger. He was 7 years old. And he did baseball as well. But his main goal in life was football. He was a phenomenal athlete.
Was he trying to go pro with it, or did he?
I think he knew he wasn't that good.
Okay.
But he also went to Malden Catholic for his 9th grade year, where he tore his ACL.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a bad injury. And he'll say that his knee never really came back from that injury. Though he continued on with sports, he wasn't the same athlete that he was before he tore his ACL.
Now, a lot of people on my show that's how they actually are introduced to a drug. They get a narcotic that's completely legal for the purpose of what they're taking it for, and they just can't get off of it. Did he have any type of painkiller then?
No,
Nothing like that?
he didn't. He was young at the time. He was only like 15. They definitely gave him pain medicine, but as his mother, I didn't give it to him.
That
We
was
just
a good
stuck
move. I
with the
wish we
Tylenol.
knew back then.
Yeah, I just didn't give him, I just didn't. I just knew that that could be some sort of an outcome, so I just never gave him the medicine that they gave him.
When he was growing up, what did he have for friends as far as what did he go out to do? Not non-sport. I mean, did he go bowling, go out fishing, hiking? What did he like to do as a kid?
Oh God, Alyssa, maybe you could take on that
Listen, why don't you take it
question.
away since you were
Yeah.
probably with him all that time?
Yeah.
What do you guys like to do?
I mean, I feel like Blue Barn, we all have our huge group of friends. So they were always at people's houses, whether it was going to the mall and causing ruckus.
Of course.
He was always somewhere. I mean, he would have sleepovers before his football games on Sundays with his friends. We were always just doing stuff, yeah.
You hung well with him. You're pretty close.
Yeah. Even when we were older, some nights he would come out with my friends. We would just have fun.
Now, Carla, there's a part of the show I hate. The next question might be a little difficult for you to answer. And as we discussed off camera, if we need to stop, we can come back. So are you going to be okay?
Yep.
Okay. Joey passed right before the holidays. How on earth did you manage the holidays with your son just buried?
Yeah, he died on November 4th, so Thanksgiving, we look back and it pretty much was a blur. But Christmas, for all of us, me and my daughters, were, what are we gonna do? Like, how do we do this? How do we do this without him? So we knew as a family that being home really wasn't an option. Because how do you wake up Christmas morning without him coming down those stairs? You know, like how do you possibly do that? So we didn't, we went away. We went away that first year. We went to New Hampshire with some family. It was still a hard day, but we managed to get through it with our family. Luckily, we had them by our side.
And around Thanksgiving, how did that work out?
Thanksgiving, we went to a friend's house. We had a seat for him at the table. Yeah, and he loved Joey loved Thanksgiving, but Joey's main holiday was Christmas, and he loved his Christmas stocking. That was his thing. He loved it.
Did you do lights and all the normal Christmas stuff?
Everything. Yeah. Joey would, when he went to Malden Catholic, he met a really good friend of his. His friend was James, and they introduced him to something called the Christmas pickle, which we didn't know what it was. We had no idea.
I got to hear this one.
Right? So a Christmas pickle, I guess, is an ornament that you hang on your tree, and whoever finds the Christmas pickle on Christmas morning is somebody, they open their first present. And they get a special present, apparently. I don't know if I ever did the special present thing, but they opened their first, whoever found the pickle opened the first present on Christmas morning. So he just loved the Christmas pickle.
And they get to take your present if there's okay.
And he definitely would. He was a character, for sure, was a character.
How are you coping with now, especially when a holiday comes up? I mean, there's no way really to ever forget a child.
No.
Or to put it on your mind. People say, oh, time passes. I lost a mom, had nothing to do with drugs. It doesn't get better. That's what they tell you on TV, it doesn't get better.
Yeah.
You a little bit less every day, but you always think of somebody you lose. I had a grandmother, my family loves to mess up holidays. My grandmother, who lived with us for years, died on Christmas Eve. My father died 5 days before Christmas. My mother died 5 days before Mother's Day. We like messing holidays up. I don't know why. So, how are you coping today?
There's no different today than it was on November 4th. Let me rephrase that.
Oh, please.
The pain becomes a little tiny bit less, but it's always still there.
And the emotion is right there as if it was the following morning.
Exactly. Yeah, nothing really changes. It is the worst pain a mother would ever have to endure. And you don't want anybody in this club with you because it's not a fun club.
Did Joey see what he was doing to the family when he was on the drugs? I'm sure that wasn't easy when he came home and he was high, obviously. And I'm sure you recognized it and talked to him about it. Did he realize the toll it takes on the family before he passed?
I believe he did. I believe Joey didn't want this. This isn't the life that he ever wanted. He did everything in his power to be sober. Everything. Hence the reason why he would go everywhere, California, Florida, wherever it might have ended up being, because he always came to us when he wanted. He always came to his family and let us know, like, I'm going into recovery. Like, it was never like, you do this or this will happen. He always did it kind of on his own to both of us.
Now, without saying names or even first names, How was he introduced to drugs? Do you actually know how he was? Was it through friends, hanging out? Do you aware of a beginning?
I believe I do.
Again, no names, please.
Yep, no, I believe we know now where it all kind of stemmed from. You kind of think like, if I only knew then what I know now, and maybe it would have been a little bit different, but you can't turn back, you can't go backwards. But yes, I believe now I know exactly where his addiction started.
And for parents out there that may not be familiar with things, did you see any signs at all? I know you did a lot of intervention. Were you able to see the signs right away, or were they so subtle growing up you didn't realize it was even happening?
I mean,
I know he came to you when he was
yeah.
15. Before they came to you, I know they like to keep it a secret. No one says, "Hey, Mom, guess what? I did drugs today."
Yeah, no. No, I mean, like I said, like now that I look back,
Yeah.
I noticed things a little bit more now. But like I said, he came to us.
Yeah.
He just said, I'm doing this and I need to go here. And that's always what we did. We followed through with anything he needed. There was no rock left unturned when it came to Joey in his recovery.
And it really must make you feel proud as a parent that you have a child that was that loving, that could trust you
Yeah.
without hiding.
Right.
Without hiding it. I know people have been on the show and they said, I didn't even know my child was on drugs until I got the phone call from the police that he passes an overdose. He goes, how did he pass? He lives with me. Pass from what? How did he overdose?
Right.
Because he lives under my roof, and I didn't know he was on drugs. And it must be good that you have a relationship that he could come right away and ask you for the help that he needed.
Yeah, he was just that good of a person. He was a wonderful human being.
But the drugs just take control of him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alyssa, how old were you when your brother passed?
I was 26.
Okay. But recently.
Yeah.
And what was it like growing up with Joey? I know we mentioned briefly what you did. Brother-sister relationship, what was he like? The good, the bad, the ugly, the things you never wanted to say, and now I'm putting them on TV. The whole world's got to know.
No, I mean, I say it always, and I would say it when he passed. I would say it still, that me and Joey had more than just a brother-sister friendship. Or relationship. He was like my best friend. I was his best friend. People, even after he passed, would message me and be like, he talked about you all the time. You were like his rock. So it wasn't just, I was there throughout his whole entire recovery.
Fun things. You went out at night. You did things other than what you said before.
Yeah.
I'm sure in 21 years of his life, you did more than sports and going out and hanging out.
Yeah, no,
I want to know the real Joey. I don't want to know a number. Joey was a person.
Yes.
And do people forget out here? Last year, and this is why I blow my viewers away. They love me for doing this. Last year, Massachusetts, we lost 2,000 people died of an overdose. And I just heard that 96% of those overdoses involve fentanyl. So you think you were getting heroin. 96 out of 100 times that heroin was laced with fentanyl. And we have numbers. We don't throw names. I do know at a couple of the events we do at Justin's Voice, they actually will read the names that are only getting longer every year of people that passed. They're not going to read 2,000 names. They're going to throw a number at you. I never met Joey. Joey is not a number. Joey was flesh and blood. He was somebody's child, someone that obviously did things. And what I wanted people to take away from this show is Joey was not just a kid that overdosed that was doing drugs. Joey was flesh and bone and was loved. And what I want to know is the things that made Joey loved.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I always think of is I was moving to Florida for college.
Okay.
And my plans fell through to get all my stuff there. I was supposed to hop on a plane. That fell through, so I got off a cruise ship. I called him. I said, we need to get my stuff to Florida. And he hopped in the car, and we took like a 3-day road trip down there. Like, he didn't even blink about it. He was like, all right, let's go. Like, he canceled all his plans just to make sure that I got down there safely.
What did you do in Florida once you got there?
He was a huge, like, foodie. I would always say I would always say that he needed to make like an Instagram to like review food. So yeah, we went down and we got all those new places and we ate a bunch of food and it was great. It was a good time.
Typical brother-sister stuff.
Yeah. He didn't love the beach, but I made him go to the beach a few times. So yeah.
Made him.
Yes, I made him.
You can be persuasive.
Exactly.
Now, I understand you have a younger sister, I believe, Sammy?
Yes.
What can you tell us about her?
Sammy's great. Her and Joey, they had 12 years apart, 9 years apart. I don't know, a lot of years apart, but they got along really well.
How old's Sammy now?
She is 13.
And what's happening here?
They were always in the pool. She was always trying to make him one man her.
Nice. It looks like they're really having a good time together.
Yeah.
Nice pool. Am I invited?
Always.
Okay. And how old again was she when Joey passed?
She was 11.
I gotta do the, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That day was hard.
And you mentioned to me that there was a story behind how she found out and how you didn't want her to find out.
Yes.
How did she actually find out about Joey's death, and what steps did you take along the way? Can you share that with us in more detail?
So obviously me and my mom found out right away, and Sammy was getting off the bus on November 4th. She actually just missed the state police at my door. Okay. She was by herself by maybe like 30 minutes. So my mom picked up the phone, called one of her cheer mom friends, and she came and got her for the day. And Sammy was with them until the next day. So Sammy didn't find out until November 5th. So we called her home, and we always say Tara knew that she was dropping Sammy off for her life to change forever. Oh. And yeah, so it was just a really hard situation for everybody, obviously, but just so much more that people just don't know. And I will never forget sitting on the couch with Sammy. We told her, and her scream, I will never forget. Like, it just, yeah, it was awful. And then she took it so bravely. She was like, I just need to go for a walk. And she took a walk around our circle by herself and like collected her thoughts. It was like,
it's even hard to sit here listening to this because, I mean, I'm a human being like everybody else, and it does get to me too. You're talking about family at the worst moment of their life, and I'm here asking questions. I know some of them are upsetting, and as a human being, I can understand the pain that these people are feeling and what they went through to try to prevent their younger sister from finding out in the worst moment of her life, to try to control the condition. I can't even understand how Tara could do that knowing what she's about to say. I mean, it takes a lot of guts to be able to do that, to hide the fact up until the proper moment, and there is no proper moment. It's like, how do you plan on telling someone the worst moment of their life is about to change?
Right, right. And she had to drop her off to that, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was really hard for her as well, because she knew what was happening.
Going forward, how did that have changed and affect her life moving forward without her big brother there?
In more ways than people could see. It was a lot. I mean, it affected her cheering. It affected her friends, I feel like. It just affected her everyday life, obviously. But I feel like she lost friends and she gained more friends. Her cheering life changed. It was a lot.
Were there some things that she used to like to do beforehand and now no longer do? If you can share some of that with us, what she gave up.
So she loved tumbling before, and that's more of a trust thing. And after talking with her cheering coaches and everything, it's more of a trauma thing that she doesn't trust herself or anyone to even throw herself backwards now, which is just so crazy to me. And like, you would think usually kids are just resilient and just do crazy things and don't care about getting hurt. And at even just 12, she doesn't do it anymore.
She'd begin to realize how precious life is and how it can be taken away.
Yeah.
We've done something positive now. You started a foundation. What can you tell us, Carla?
The Joey Dominici Foundation. We started that, it was like right after Joey passed. Like that's what we're going to do. We are going to keep him alive. We are going to let everybody know how great he was. And we started that,
January or February?
January or February of 2020.
So you did it right away. There was no time wasted.
No time wasted at all.
Yep.
And what is the mission of the foundation?
It's the mission statement, I guess, would say to help people in financial crisis and strife. That's what it is. And all people. However, we have put people into recovery. We have done lots of stuff within our community. It's interesting how after someone passes away, you hear of all the amazing things that they did or do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what we wanted to keep going. We wanted to keep Joey's love and compassion alive, and that's what we do every single day, every day.
And you're the I know you're the co-founder. You're also the president?
Yes, yep.
And what role does Alyssa play in this?
I mean, I would say I'm the president, but she's, equal
yeah.
parts. You know what I mean? We do it all together. We do have a board. We have a fantastic board that does oodles and stuff that, that people don't realize, how much work goes into a foundation. It is a lot of work, but you wouldn't change it. That's what we do. That's what we want to do. We do it for Joey, and we do it for people trying to get into recovery, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot. There's a lot of work put into it.
Now, as you're aware of, Brian Tagg was a previous guest on my show. You gotta love Brian. He's on 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And the guy does amazing work. How's he involved with you guys?
I mean, Brian Tagg is Brian Tagg. He is, in our eyes, one of the most important people in our lives. Because when Joey came to us and told us that he was addicted to Percocet, the first person he called was Brian Tagg. Okay. So he was there, Brian Tagg was there through Joey's entire, drug battle, I guess is what we can call it. Trying to fight the demon. Brian Tagg was with him all the time.
What did Brian actually do? Do you take him places, give him examples, get him into homes?
Everything, anything. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better mentor than Brian Tagg if you're trying in recovery, trying to get into recovery, trying to stay recovered, trying to help somebody get into recovery. Maybe 12 days before Joey passed away, he reached out to Brian then too and asked Brian, a couple questions about recovery and new places to go and this, that, and the other thing. And that was literally only about maybe 12 to 14 days before he passed away.
Now, Brian's been doing a lot. We had on our last show, we just opened up Liberty Healthcare up in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I mean, that place is beautiful. I'm sure you guys are proud of what he's done with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Alyssa.
Yes.
Yes, I told him I'd put you on the spot. She's smiling. She's not going to be smiling in a few minutes. A foundation takes money.
Yes.
What are a couple of the ways you go about raising money?
So our community is the only way that we get money. So we have a website that we get Venmo, we can accept the checks, everything. But mostly we do is either it's a small fundraiser or one of our big fundraisers.
And speaking of big fundraisers, I understand you run a golf tournament.
Yes.
What can you tell us about the tournament? In fact, through the magic of television, look what we have.
So the golf tournament, we wanted to make sure that it was Joey's day. It was always, like last year was our first event, and it was actually extremely hard because of COVID.
Yes.
But we made it happen, and it was one of the best days. We had everyone around, all of Joey's people. We had Lauren Bakari come and speak about Joey to everybody. It was great. It was a really good day.
For people not familiar with that name?
Oh, she is, she works at Woburn High. She's one of the guidance counselors.
I know that, but
or
people...
something. Sorry, Lauren.
Sorry, Lauren.
We're shown across the country. People pick this up on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
And I think it was Nigeria from my other show. It's actually being shown out of the country. Yes, from homeless to Harvard, they still watch out of the country.
Right, right.
So it looks like a nice tournament. Where was it held, or where's it going to be held this year?
Last year and this year, it is at Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashua, New Hampshire.
And how do you get in? What's it cost to go in? Do you have to be a pro golfer or an amateur? Can you go just to watch and eat?
Both. So we have good golfers. We have people who just picked up a golf club that day. It's $640 for a foursome, but that includes your lunch after. That includes everything for the day. And
Can people go on the website and just donate for the sake of donating to it?
Yes.
And do you have whole sponsors or anything like that?
Yeah, so we have 4 sponsor opportunities. So it's a sponsor a hole, our bronze sponsor, silver, gold, and then presenting. And that gets you signage around the course. Some of them get you a few spots at the luncheon. Yeah.
And do you have any lined up this year yet? I know it's a little early.
We have a lot. We have a lot of Woburn businesses.
Can you name some of the title sponsors while we are on? Give a quick plug.
Yeah, we have, you probably know more than me. You've been
As
dealing
far
with
as sponsorship?
Yeah, the big ones.
Who are the big
ones? Are Joanne Mulcairn from Mulcairn Realty. We have
Mooney Dental.
Mooney Dental. Mooney
Name I
Dental is another
recognize.
big one.
Yeah.
We have Lantheus. It's a company that I know. What else do we have? I can't remember.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I just want to give you a chance to name a couple of the people.
There's so many. There's just sponsor holes.
We have a lot of the barbers around. We have Woburn Barber.
Yeah,
We
it's
have,
just,
How do you meet up with these people? How do they know about this? There's got to be a way. How do you find the sponsors?
I mean, that's really me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny that we brought up Lauren Bakari, because Lauren Bakari would say that I'm like a mama bear. That's kind of like what I am. So when I said earlier that no stone was left unturned for Joey in his recovery, I feel that that's the same way for his foundation. I just contact as many people as I can and ask them to either sponsor a whole, or sponsor the event. And Woburn is what does it say? A small town, but a big
Yes.
small town, big city. I think
exactly.
that's something like that.
I remember when they had the big fire and
reversed.
everybody came together.
Yeah.
And then when the Woburn Square burned down, the people, they were paying $200, $300 for a plate of pancakes. So,
Right.
I mean,
right.
everybody came together.
Yeah.
And it's just the way, what we live in.
Right. And you know, you go through life, and there are some people in life that can say, oh, I didn't know anybody that had cancer, or I didn't know anybody that had leukemia. But there is not a single person that you will meet that will say that they did not know somebody that was addicted to some sort of a drug. Somebody in their circle.
From our last taping, we picked up 15 more people in Middlesex County alone overdosed, which is horrendous. That's just from what we taped a few weeks ago. Donations. I understand the employees of Cummings Park may have done something to help you out. What can you tell us about their employees?
I guess throughout Cummings, I'm not sure how it all works, but I believe when you're an employee of Cummings, you can choose a foundation
Correct.
of your liking that you would donate $1,000 to. And we were fortunate enough this year that there were 4 people at Cummings Properties that chose the Joey Dominici Foundation as their nonprofit. So we were very fortunate for that, because $4,000 could get one person or 2 people into recovery. And going into recovery is the first step to becoming,
That's the whole key. And
Yeah.
unfortunately nowadays, sometimes it's all about money. If money can't get them in, you might want to go. But if you have no money, I'm sorry you don't have insurance. What do we do?
right. So, I mean, from $10 can buy someone a sleeping bag to $3,000 put somebody into recovery. So we do everything and anything we possibly can.
Okay, let's take the Plymouth House, for example.
Yes.
What does your foundation do for the Plymouth House?
So the Plymouth House is obviously in Plymouth, New Hampshire. It's a 12-step recovery program. And what we did this year was we created baskets. So when you go into recovery, you're at your most vulnerable time, right? Like you want to be in recovery. You sometimes go in with nothing, and then you leave with nothing. So why not a fresh start? A new comforter, a pillow, some hygiene products. Because the next step after that step is hopefully some sort of sober living program.
And you want the person to feel like a person, have some dignity, and not
correct.
go into this place.
Right,
and
with
not even-
nothing. Because you go in, I remember when Joey left the Plymouth House, he went to Michael's house, and from Michael's house, but he didn't have anything. He needed food. They have to eat, you know what I mean? So it was our, honor to help others, in Joey's name, give them the stuff that they need to
Sure,
go
that
to the
makes
next
a big
place.
difference. I mean, you're
Yeah.
making a huge difference in their life just to give them the dignity of going. It's bad enough they're embarrassed that they're there, and then I can't comb my hair, I can't wash my hair, I don't have this, I don't have that.
Right.
And I'm sure that the houses do the best they can, but
course.
they're only so budgeted also.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they're
I
looking for
remember-
the mighty dollar also to try
Right.
to run the place.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember getting a call multiple times from Joey when he was leaving either recovery or somewhere, saying that he needed to go somewhere, and he needed a basket of this, and this by 10 o'clock in the morning. So me and her would run to Walmart, grab whatever we could. So it's just like that one last step for families who are trying to keep this one on the right
And
path.
let's strategically put this next question over to Carla. What is Black Balloon Day?
March 6th is Black Balloon Day. It's really to spread awareness. Yes.
Is that your place?
Yes, that's our house. That's our balloon. To spread awareness for overdose awareness.
And, okay, is overdose awareness a phrase, or is there actually a day or something
It's-
set for this?
Yeah, it is nationwide. Yep,
Okay.
nationwide.
Oh,
Yep.
it's Joey.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
And that is, so Overdose Awareness Day would be different than Black Balloon Day. That's Overdose Awareness Day. So they're just two different, whatever you can to help, right? Whatever you can help to stop the stigma, because that's what the whole world is trying to do at this point.
I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. I don't know how good the graphics are going to be on this. Would you please, Alyssa, would you please read Black Balloon Day and Overdose Awareness Day for us?
August 31st, Overdose Awareness Day. Be their voice, light a candle, wear purple, and show support because they matter. So purple is represents Overdose Awareness Day, and then on Black Balloon Day, purple is supposed to represent the one that's in recovery, whereas the black balloon represents somebody who passed away from an overdose. And this year we brought it to Woburn Center.
That's what I was going to just suggest. Has it gone to Woburn yet?
Yeah, so thanks to Mayor Galvin, he let us bring so many, hundreds of balloons to Woburn Center with a big banner. We teamed up with Macca's Mission, and it was great. We got so many people email us or message us saying it was great to see because there's so many people here that know somebody.
Yeah.
And we're lucky we have a mayor like Scott Galvin that supports all these. There's people that know me from the city. I'm involved one way or another in so many organizations, and what they do in Woburn Center, of course, Lenny, the DPW crew that does all the work down there, and for Scott Galvin, obviously, for allowing it to happen. I mean, it shows Woburn comes together and unites in support. It's really a beautiful thing when you go down, you see the common all lit up. And like I said on my last show, I urge people, when you have the Gold Star Mothers, you have now Black Balloon Day, you have everything that's happening on the Common, all the other events, to please stop by, look in the paper, look on the mayor's website, see what's coming up. Go free parking behind the bank and in the City Hall parking lot. Come and show your support to these groups. I mean, just to show that, you know, we care for a lousy hour that you have nothing to do that night. Come out, support it. And while you're down there, support our local restaurants. You got to eat anyway. Go support the local businesses that lost so much from COVID. But you've got these events coming up to show, hey, I'm part of this. I don't have a son. I don't have a daughter. I didn't lose anything, but so many people have. I'm going to show my support. So please, guys, look what's going on and support these people. Now, that we've totally lost track of where I am.
It's okay.
Alyssa.
Yes.
I understand you guys do something on Mass Ave in Boston, correct?
Yes.
What for us? What is Mass Ave, Mass and Cass? What can you throw at us?
So Mass Ave, they have a safe spot for injections for people that are addicted. That was, I'm already like stumbling over my words. That was a hard day. That was a really hard day. So we got a bunch of donations, whether it was lightly used clothes, pillows, blankets, sleeping bags. We purchased a lot of like toiletries, and it was in December we went, or November. So it was very cold already. We were going into the cold months, so we got a lot of like the aluminum blankets. Just
Nice. Oh yeah, the space blankets,
gloves, yeah.
The ones you can never refold into a little box.
Exactly. Yeah. Hats, gloves, everything. So we got a few of our board members and volunteers, and we went there for the day. We teamed up with the Mass Ave Project, who does this probably every weekend. They try to. Yeah, it was a really hard day.
As a human being, how do they make you feel seeing that these people, what they have, and now what they have after you?
It was hard because we weren't even allowed originally to go to that spot where they all were, because they would just grab everything from your hands. And us being all women, a lot of the men were like, we'll do it. But there was one person, I think that you saw, that she had a few of our bags that she had, and then she ended up, whether falling asleep or whatever the case may have been, and 2 seconds later, somebody came and took all that stuff from her and walked away.
Wow.
So she's going to wake up thinking that she has all these warm clothes from us in the Mass Ave Project, and now she has nothing again. So it's just a glimpse of what happens every single second on that street.
And there's only so much you can do for them. I know there are a lot of programs down there, but there's just so much you can do.
Yeah.
It's true.
Now, Alyssa,
Yes.
I love putting her on the spot. Off camera, she's like, don't put me on the spot. You do something at the Kennedy. What's happening? Is that Sammy?
That's Sammy.
Looks different with clothing other than the bathing
It'll
suit.
be-
She's all grown up here.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing here?
So we last fall filled the Kennedy Middle School's food bank.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great. It was a really good time. And Sammy loved it because she could pick out all the kids' food. She wanted the Oreos and the juice boxes. It was great. And then come December, we actually adopted 10 kids from the Kennedy.
Okay. And what's that about?
Yeah, so we donated 10 kids for Christmas, and they sent us their Christmas lists. and we got them all the gifts that they want from Santa.
Yes, I see you preparing them from college, mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Get used to it, kids. That's going to be your best friend when you go to college.
So true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you do a lot of other things in the community. What else does your foundation do, if you want to just bring up a couple of other things that you do? Along
Well-
with the Kennedy, along with Mass and Cass and everything else.
What we realized too, like I said earlier, was after somebody, you hear all the good things that they did. And Joey was phenomenal at random acts of kindness.
Okay.
Which we knew as a family, but not as much as we found out after the fact, all the things he did for other people rather than himself. So we continued on with the random acts of kindness.
Okay.
And we do, on Joey's birthday this past year, we had about 250 poinsettias on his birthday, and we just randomly dispersed them throughout the community to give somebody a little smile.
Now, if somebody wanted to donate after watching this show, where would they go for this? If we have the website address, if you give that to us.
So the joeydomenicifoundation.org is our website, and we accept cash or Venmo. You can always go to an event. We do have another event coming up in September. It's a trivia night that's being held at the Country Club. I believe it's sold out, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, but we'll always take, so we have like raffles and all sorts of other stuff to help raise money. So, we would take anything we can to help anybody within our community and outside of our community.
So
Men, women, all alike, children.
So anybody viewing, if you like what they're doing and you want to help and be part of this without having to pick up a golf club, you can actually just go in, like I said, checks, cash, Venmo.
Yeah. Which we do get. We're very fortunate enough that we do get some just random people, sending us $25, $50, $100. And then like I said, we have a board, and everything is decided through the board. We don't make any decisions without a board, without the board decision
501?
vote. 501, yeah.
What that basically means is they're a public charity, so the corporations and even the individuals, that is tax deductible from your income tax.
Correct.
So being tax deductible, any corporations out there that are viewing this, or anybody that's viewing this says, this foundation does so much for so many, why don't I bring this to my employer, bring it to my boss? I'm a big company, say, hey, how about you guys getting behind this a little bit? Look what they're doing for the community. That's all it takes is one or two people viewing this to make a huge difference. And corporations are always looking for a deduction.
Yep.
Carla, before we come to a closing, do you have anything you'd like to say to our viewers? Look right into the camera. This is a close-up.
I just want to thank the community, because without the community, we wouldn't really be able to do much of all the things that we are currently able to do. Mayor Galvin has helped out tremendously, and without this community, we wouldn't truly be able to help all others that are in financial crisis or strife and that need to get into recovery.
Alyssa, your chance to be
my
close up to what she
second
asked me not to
close-up.
do. So we're going to close right up on it out.
Kind of going off what she said, if you know anybody that needs help, please send them our way. It's all word of mouth that we're going to get somebody into recovery, and we are here to help anybody. Like we said, our mission is very broad because we, like Joey, helped not only people in addiction, but everyone.
Yeah. Definitely.
Before we close, it's very hard for a group to come in like this in a pair. I met with the family about a week before. They never met me. They talked to me once on the phone to try to go over to let them know what I would be looking for the show. And I was going to be asking some very tough questions. And to sit here and talk about loss of a child, it takes a lot to do that. And for what this family has done for the community and other people so it won't happen again is absolutely amazing. And obviously, when we talk back and forth, I tell them, treat me like we're family, like we're talking, because you try to make a little bit of light because it's so stressful being here. And I do have to apologize, because there is nothing to make light of. A child was lost to an overdose. So if sometimes I seem a little friendly or a little over, that's because I'm trying to fight off. I can see when they're getting upset. And as a host, I don't want my guests being upset, and I want them to be able to portray what happens and what a family goes through. So I can do nothing but commend them for being here today, talking in probably the worst moment of anybody's life, and to be able to share that with us. So I absolutely have to thank Carla and Alyssa for appearing today. As always, thank you for watching. Please share this program with your social media friends. If you or someone you know is suffering from a substance abuse disorder, you can contact the Massachusetts Substance Use Helpline at 1-800-327-5050. The show can be seen on a rotating basis on Woburn Public Media stations and on demand at their website and on YouTube. As always, thanks to the crew at Woburn Public Media Center for making this show possible. America in Crisis Breaking the Cycle of Addiction would not be able to do what it does if it's not for the people that are behind me. I'm the face you see on the screen. When we yell, "That's a wrap," that's when all the technical work comes in behind the scenes that I possibly could not do. So Lauren, Anthony, Jen, and of course Brian Ouellette, the executive director of the entire organization, and Chris, thank you so much for giving me the privilege of being here. But like I said, I'm here for 30 minutes. The real work begins when I leave the studio, and I can't thank them enough for taking on the hard stuff. So please enjoy our closing theme, Rise Above the Noise by Fireheart. Right through the credits for important contact information for some of our past shows. That means watch all the way to the end, guys. There's some good contact information that you're going to want to see, and maybe say, hey, I'd like to see that show. I'm going to go look it up on YouTube. So for America in Crisis, Breaking the Cycle of Addiction, I'm David Hunt. Again, thank you for watching, and thank you again for the crew that allows me to do this every week.
Those you judge might never die. Above the noise, you hear us cry. There are people who care. Listen to the sound if you dare. Rise above the noise in the air. The sound not heard is what we bear. Listen to the sound if you dare. Rise above the noise in the air. The sound not heard is what we bear. The whispers that I hear behind my back are those who never lost a child.